All right, we're live. What's up, ladies? So I know you've been seeing a lot of me this week. I'm so excited to be here and have some time to share with you. I actually had a bit of one of those moments of, oh, I have to share this, right? I posted in the group the other day a question like, what's the craziest diet that you have ever done? Right. Because if you actually look it up, like over the years, it's wild. I used to teach foods and nutrition in high school, and we were researching all the different diets that mostly women have done over the years to lose weight. And it is everything from eating cotton swabs to crazy kind of fasts, to drinking only this or eating only that, or standing on top of the mountain on one foot, all kinds of wild things that we have done to just try and feel the way that we want to feel in our bodies and look the way that we want to look and be whatever size that we think that we should be to, I don't know, validate our existence. And part of it is for vanity, and part of it's for like the sanity of like, I just don't want to be eating crazy anymore. And part of it's just feeling good in our body. Is like, it's complicated, right? Like it changes from season to season, from different phases of life, from day to day, of like what the desire is and what the motivation is and what it is that we're really looking for from the weight loss, like what's underneath that, and how much weight is enough. Well, my mom actually commented on one of the questions. So, hey, mom, if you are watching, and she reminded me of a time when I was younger, because I was alive and well aware, well-ish, of what was going on. And I remember she said that she got her jaw wired shut. She actually did it twice. And I remember that. And my response was, that was the beginning. And it was the beginning for me. Like that experience of her so desperately trying to control her weight and her relationship with food and just not have to deal with it or think about it anymore. And her very tender, now that I think about it, desire to just stop eating. Right? Like if I just was literally physically unable to eat, like, would that fix the problem? And, God bless her, it did not fix the problem. It did not. And I remember she actually almost died. I mean, in my eyes, in my mind, I don't know what her perspective was, but I was 8 years old and we were on vacation and we were having a pillow fight, and one of the pillows busted open. One of the little feathers got caught in her throat somehow, even though she had her jaw wired shut. She like breathed it in and she couldn't breathe. And I remember asking her later, like, why? Right? Like, why did she get her jaw wired shut? And she told me to lose weight. And I said, why was that so important? And she said, because your father doesn't like overweight women. And so on some level, she was trying to appease and please somebody else. Like that was the problem in their relationship, was her weight. That's not the problem in their relationship, but that was her perspective at the time. It's an interesting thing, ladies, because a lot of us have issues with our mother, or we are the mother, and our daughters or sons. It's usually the mother-daughter type of relationship that can get weird around body image and food and weight and dieting and things like that. And so I just want to give you a little perspective from the daughters and the kind of relationship that me and my mom have now, and what we did when I was younger, and that anger. So if that's something that you resonate with, whether either personally or you're experiencing that on either side, the mother or the daughter side, I'd like to give you some hope, especially in these times of the holidays, and we're thinking about and spending time perhaps with our family members, and it can bring up a lot of stuff, and it can be easy to just want to eat around that, just to soothe the emotion and the big feelings around that. And so for me, the relationship with my mom became very toxic as I grew older and began to have my own struggles with weight and food, and desperately trying to fix that myself so that I felt okay. But then watching her struggle, and then anytime we were like not on the same page, like one of us was thinner and kind of felt like good and in control, and the other maybe was not, and then it would switch. And there was this, it was often very tense. And like, I didn't want her ever looking at my body, talking about my body, talking about my food. I didn't want to hear her talking about her body or her food. Like it was just such a tender subject for so long. Quite frankly, it's still a little bit tender. Like, I don't really want to go into the details of what's going on with your relationship with food. It's still a little bit uncomfortable to me, but for a long time, it was so bad that like it was like this rage would come over me that was uncontrollable. And then of course I felt bad because it always seemed inappropriate to be that upset, but I couldn't deal with it. And so from my personal perspective, being the daughter, I have to tell you something that's very, very important for us all to remember and understand. When part of the way that she grew up and responded to the world was to take care of, because it was really uncomfortable for her to stop and take care of herself. So it was like, well, if this person's okay and this person needs this. And so she did a lot of things for me, which it's not that I'm not grateful for, but it kind of made me feel like you don't trust me to do them for myself. Like I can do these things. And at the time, I didn't realize the relationship and dynamic that was developing until she stopped doing all of those things and started taking care of herself. And one of the big fears that a lot of women have about stopping taking care of everyone else and taking care of themselves is that the people will get upset around them. And I'm not saying that that has to happen, but I am saying that I did experience how upsetting it is when someone pulls away and takes care of themselves, but it does not stop there. The story does not stop there. And also it's quite ungraceful, quite frankly. You know what I mean? It's like we usually do like the pendulum's way over here. Then we go like, I'm not doing anything for you ever, do it yourself. Like, can't you do anything? And, it's an ungraceful process, but the pendulum does, come back into this middle ground. But I do remember being very angry at my mom for not doing things for me anymore. And I remember being upset and disappointed and angry and frustrated and confused and all of that stuff. But I'll tell you what also happened. Because one of the reasons I was so upset with her previously is that, and this is stuff that I uncovered later, it wasn't conscious at the time, but she could not teach me a healthy relationship with food and body image because she didn't have one. So as a child growing up, I grew up with a bunch of women, God bless you, I love you all, that had very not ideal relationships with food, body image, dieting, weight, male perception, like all of that stuff. And I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. I didn't grow up in a silo. You know what I mean? I grew up right here with everybody else. And so when she did finally take back control of her own life and start actually caring for herself in that way, even though I was upset at the time, what she was doing was teaching me how to have a healthy relationship with food and my own body. And it was a journey. It still is a journey. It's not like a destination that you finally get to and you're like, aha, everything's healed. If I'm going to give it a percentage, there was like 0% healed for a really long time. And now that we're both doing a lot of work on ourselves individually and together about what it means to really self-care, not just like taking bubble baths and drinking a glass of wine, like building a life, like an internal monologue dialogue, like internal perspective of memories of the past and a vision of the future and how I feel about my body right now today. And the relationship that we have, and it continues to evolve and it continues to change. And so if that is something that you are going through, whether you're on either side of it, please know that there is hope, right? That regardless of how much damage was done and all of that kind of stuff, wherever you're at right now, there is a way forward. There is a next right step kind of out of the muck of past stuff and disappointments into a brighter future. And again, okay, I was back to the percentage. So like if it was 0%, healed and healthy relationship, then I honestly feel like it's like 90% now, which is dramatically different. And again, it's not to say that it's perfect. There's always things to work on and to work out and stuff that comes up. They're like, oh, I thought that was healed. All right, let's look at it from a different perspective and keep going. So I know this is a big topic, ladies. So if this resonates with you, I'd really love for you to reach out to me or comment below or somehow begin to build that connection with people who are on the path, who are doing the work, who are invested in the healing process, who are taking those steps forward. And as we hold hands together, it begins to build momentum and strength for all of us, so that every woman, literally, we all deserve to be happy and healthy and feel really good, comfortable, and confident in our bodies, and have good relationships with the women around us. Not a, caretaking, I'm going to do everything for you so that you love me relationship, but like, I'm taking care of me, you're taking care of you. And like, how cool that we get to experience life together whole, right? We don't need to fix each other because we're not broken. We're whole together. And that just makes every relationship so much better, especially between the mother and the daughter. I adore you so much. I love you. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Friday. We're moving into even deeper into the holiday season. It's very exciting. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.